Hello, welcome back to the reading of the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 2. Chapter 267, Part 2. Jesus speaks of love. Boy, give me the walnut that Simon gave you, and listen to me as well. See this nut? I'm taking this one because I have no other fruit shells available. But to understand the parable, think, for instance, of the seeds of pines or palms. The hardest ones are the stones of olives. They are very hard containers, completely closed, without cracks of solid wood. They look like magic coffers, which can be opened only by means of violence. And yet, if one of them is thrown onto the ground by chance, and a passerby buries it in the earth, treading on it, what happens? The coffer opens and takes root and comes into leaf. How does that happen by itself? We have to strike it hard with a hammer to open it. Instead, without any blow, it opens by itself. Is the seed a magic one? No. It contains a pulp. Oh, a feeble thing compared to the hard shell. And yet it nourishes an even smaller thing, the germ. And that is the lever that forces, opens it, and produces a plant with roots and leaves. As an experiment, bury some fruit stones and wait. You will see that some strike root, others do not. Pull out the ones that did not sprout. Open them with a hammer, and you will see that they are empty seeds. So it is not the dampness of the ground or its heat that makes the stone open, but it is its pulp, or rather the soul of the pulp, the germ, which, swelling, acts as a lever and opens it. That is the parable. Now let us apply it to ourselves. What did I do that should not have been done? Have we understood one another so little that we have not understood that hypocrisy is a sin, and that words are just like wind if they are not corroborated by action? What have I always told you? Love one another. Love is the precept and the secret of glory. And I, who preach, should I be without charity? Should I thus set the example of an untruthful master? No, never. My dear friends, our body is like a hard stone, in which pulp is enclosed. Our soul, and in it there is the germ that I laid. It is made of many elements, the main one being charity. It acts as a lever to open the stone. And free the spirit from the constrictions of matter and reunite it to God, who is charity. Charity does not consist only in giving alms or comforting by means of words. Charity is accomplished through charity alone. Do not think that this is a pun. I had no money, and words were not sufficient for this case. There were 7 people on the threshold of starvation and anguish. Despair was already putting forth its black claws to grasp and strangle. The world was withdrawing harshly and selfishly before this misfortune. The world was proving that it had not understood the words of the Master. The Master evangelized through deeds. I was capable and free to do it, and it was my duty, on behalf of the whole world, to love those poor wretches whom the world did not love. That is what I did. Can you still criticize me? Or should I criticize you? In the presence of a disciple who did not hesitate to come among sawdust and shavings in order not to leave the Master, and who, I am sure, became more convinced of me, seeing me bent over a piece of wood, than he would have been persuaded if he had seen me on a throne, in the presence of a boy who perceived me to be what I am. notwithstanding his ignorance, the misfortune that blunts his mind, and the fact that he is in no way acquainted with the Messiah as he really is. Are you not saying anything? Do you not feel humiliated only while I raise my voice to correct wrong ideas? I do it out of love, but strive to have within you the germ that sanctifies and opens the stone, or you will always be useless beings. You must be prepared to do what I have done. This has been a reading from the poem of the Man of God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 2, Chapter 267, Part 2. Jesus speaks of love. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow. May God bless you, and may peace be with you.